You know, all the PC building guides tell you to perfectly balance your components. But what if that's not the whole story? What if, sometimes, that advice is just plain wrong? Today, we're tackling one of the biggest debates out there and putting a huge assumption to the test.
It's the question that keeps builders up at night, right? You save up and splurge on an amazing graphics card, but you're worried your more modest CPU is holding it back. Well, we're going to find out for real. We're running an experiment to see just how bad this bottleneck can actually get. All right, so let's get into our test setup. We built a PC that, honestly, most people will tell you is a terrible idea. We're pairing a brand new, top-of-the-line graphics card with a CPU that's, well, a lot more down to earth.
So in one corner, we have the beastly RTX 5070 Ti, a GPU that's made for some serious graphical punishment. And in the other, we've got the Intel Core i5-12400F. Now, don't get me wrong, it's an incredible CPU for the money, but you'd almost never see it paired with a card this powerful. This is the perfect mismatched combo to find the breaking point. Okay, before we dive into the juicy benchmark numbers, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What is this bottleneck thing everyone's so scared of? What does it actually mean for your games? The easiest way to think about it is like a super fast sports car stuck in traffic. Your GPU is that incredible car that wants to go 200 miles an hour, but the CPU is the road ahead, and if it can only process enough data for the car to go 150, well, you're never going to hit top speed. That's a bottleneck. It's a performance ceiling. See, it's a two-step dance. The CPU figures out what needs to be drawn, and then the GPU does the actual drawing. The problem happens when the CPU can't figure things out fast enough, leaving the super powerful GPU just sitting around waiting for instructions. And here's the key. The difficulty of the GPU's job is what changes everything. All right, first up, we're throwing this mismatched PC into the absolute deep end. We're going to see how it handles gaming at a crazy demanding 4K resolution. This is where the GPU is supposed to do all the heavy lifting. At 4K, the GPU is working its tail off. It's trying to draw millions and millions of pixels for every single frame. It's so busy with this monumental task that our little i5 CPU actually has plenty of breathing room to get the next instructions ready. The sports car is on a really twisty, complicated racetrack, so its speed is limited by the track, not the car in front. And boom! Look at these results. In some of the most graphically intense games you can play, our RTX 5070 Ti is running at pretty much full tilt. We're talking 96 to 98% utilization. That's exactly what you want to see. It means our big, beefy GPU is being used to its absolute fullest potential. So what does this all mean? Well, sure, there's technically a bottleneck here, but on average, it's only about 5%. And let me tell you, anything under 10% is considered totally fine. You'd never even notice it. This is a huge win for our budget CPU. This quote just sums it up perfectly. Against all odds, our little i5 is doing an awesome job feeding the beastly 5070 Ti in the 4K world. But here's where things get really interesting. What happens if we make the GPU's job way easier? And now for the big twist. We're dropping the resolution all the way down to 1080p or Full HD. Now you'd think, lower resolution, easier to run, more frames. And you're not wrong. But as we're about to see, it's not quite that simple. At 1080p, that powerful GPU can draw frames like lightning. The complicated racetrack is now a wide-open drag strip. The pressure is suddenly off the GPU and slammed right back onto the CPU. Now the question is, can our little i5 prepare instructions fast enough to keep that GPU fed when it's going full throttle? We saw this play out in the most dramatic way in a brand new title, Borderlands 4. While it ran like a dream at 4K, the story completely flipped on its head at 1080p. And here it is, the GPU load suddenly craters, dropping all the way to 80%. That means a full 20%, 1/5 of our super expensive graphics card is just sitting there doing nothing. It's literally waiting for the i5 to catch up. That is a ton of wasted performance. A 20% bottleneck is no joke. That's a huge deal. It means you could have bought a much cheaper graphics card and gotten the exact same frame rate in this game. At 1080p for high frame rate gaming, our budget i5 just became a serious roadblock for the 5070 Ti. So here's a quick look at all our findings. You can really see the story in the numbers. While some really well-optimized games handle the change just fine, Borderlands 4 showed the weak link in the chain. It just goes to show you the bottleneck isn't just about your hardware, it's also about the game you're playing. So after all that testing, what's the big takeaway here? What should you do for your next build? Is it a good idea to pair a budget CPU with a high-end graphics card or not?
Well, the real answer is, it all depends on your monitor. If you're a 4K gamer who wants stunning visuals, go ahead and pour your budget into that GPU. A mid-range CPU will do great. But if you're a competitive player chasing crazy high frame rates at 1080p, a powerful CPU is absolutely essential to get the most out of your system.
At the end of the day, this is the magic number. You want to see that GPU utilization sitting between 95 and 100%. That's the sign of a well-balanced system. It's how you know you're getting every single drop of performance you paid for out of that expensive graphics card.
And that kind of leaves us with a whole new way of thinking about building a PC, doesn't it? Maybe before you even think about your CPU or GPU, the very first question you should ask yourself is, what screen am I going to be playing on? Because as we saw today, that one choice changes everything.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.